welcome to my first YouTube video discussing the book Arrowood by Laura McHugh. Now, you see me looking down, I'm referencing my phone and I'm looking at Goodreads. Arrowood's current rating on Goodreads is 3.76, so not too shabby. I did read this book for a book club. It wasn't necessarily something I would have sought out on my own. It's written in a gothic novel style, kind of like in the vein of Rebecca or Jane Eyre, one of those, with the big imposing mansion setting and the woman in distress and elements of that sort. But I did overall enjoy it. It's a relatively quick read, like 270, 280 some pages. For me, you'll find when I'm reviewing books, I look more at how much does it make me think, how does it make me feel, can I get invested in these characters? And for this book, I felt like I could. I wasn't 100% wrapped around the axle about, oh my god, what's going to happen? But on the other hand, at the end of the book, especially, it did feel like, oh, my heart was being ripped out. It hurt so bad. With the book club I went to, they did, talk a lot about character development and themes and, if you want to dig deep into this book, you can. The way I think of it is, could you write an essay about this book for an AP English class? And yeah, I think you could. Would it stand up next to an essay about Frankenstein or Jane Eyre? Probably not. But it's still good. And there were a couple of complaints at the book club about, Laura McHugh is still relatively a new author. This is just her second book. Her character development wasn't quite there and whatever. Like I said, how does it make me feel? Does it make me think? Can I get invested in the characters? One thing that the book club did take issue with that, I don't know, I'm not too hung up about it, is the ending of, was the whole thing plausible? And who do you think was really responsible? The author did seem to kind of lead you towards blaming the entire thing on the mom, or blaming the deaths of the twins on the mom. But I do feel strongly that the mom did do it, that the mom did kill the twins. Not everyone in the book club agreed, and that's fine. It's a fairly ambiguous ending, I suppose. Some people took issue with that. Whatever. Some people like a cleaner ending than others. Also going into the plausibility factor, would she have really returned to that town? And, would she have, at the end, bought the sister house and renovated the entire thing? And I do feel like it's plausible within the realm of a gothic novel where there are these loose ends and this, what actually happened and whatnot. So I do think it's plausible within those lines. I can't think of a similar book I've read to this that I could compare it to, short of going to some of the classics. And like I said, I don't know that I can really compare it to some of the classics. I think the classics would win every time, hands down. But I think this book held its own. So my overall rating for the feels I got from it and How much would I recommend it to another person? On Goodreads, I did give it 5 stars. Like I said, it's a pretty quick read, relatively speaking. I feel like the writing style is really good. You do kind of lose yourself in it, and it doesn't. You know how in some books you find yourself in a certain passage and you're like, oh my good dear God, move on? I didn't feel like that happened a lot in this book. There were no sections or chapters where I was like, I don't want to hear about this character anymore. I felt like everything was pertinent, everything had a place in there and belonged there and served a purpose. So, yeah, I do really recommend this book. I think it's a great book. Certainly compared to what I'm reading now, which I'm hoping what I'm reading now gets better. But tell me in the comment section, if you did read Arrowood, who do you think did it? Do you think it was actually Arden, or do you think it was the mom? And also, do you have any other suggestions compared to this book that you think would be better, worse, similar, that you think I should read? So that's it for now for this review. Look forward to other videos coming out soon, and I'll see you at the library.